Okay, guys, I'm going to walk you through how we break down an opponent. You've probably seen some different things on my website. So this actual document is on there, but I'm going to go through kind of what I'm looking to do. So this actually is our first playoff game back several years ago. Not a team in our conference, so we'll share whatever on this. But basically, our kids will get a huge handout, and I'm huge on trying to make sure I don't give them too much. And I've been guilty many times of doing that. So here's the rough way we will lay out after we've met as a staff and gone through everything. And I've tried to pare it down. A lot of times this document serves as kind of therapy for me and allows me to write out my thoughts. I understand that, we try to have certain sections that kids get and look at and go through. But basically what I'll do on the first page is just an overview. And so we'll just do a real quick, hey, here's what happened last week deal. This one is the playoffs, so it's talking about how we got to get ready. And then it will give a real quick overview of if a casual fan was watching this team, here's what they're about. And so you can kind of see that on this. Then I'll put always a good, a bad, and a great, what we do, what is a good thing for us. A lot of times that might be talking about last week. This one was looking for theme that week. So talk about the draw for us, put the bad on there. We had finished the season with a win over a winless team who hadn't played very well. So we talk about that in here. And then the great thing, what's the big opportunity of that week? We'll put that in there. And then that year, our team theme was fire. And so those were our words we put with them. And I will match that kind of with what we're expecting. And then I'll put a little quick goals thing. What's our goals this week? What are we trying to accomplish? And then I'll put notes. These are just things that I'll actually be doing this as I'm breaking down the film. Just real quick notes on what they're doing. And just talks about just general things in a way that kid would understand it, but different things they want to do. A lot of times our kids don't really put a lot into this, but I'll meet with them and kind of highlight certain things that I want them to know. So when I hand a packet out, it may be highlighted up for a certain kid, what I want him to know. Okay, and it just talks about different things on there. Then I'll go into offense. So offense will be a quick overview for everybody on offense, what we've got to do. And then I'll go position by position, talk to that exact position. So the other kids can just ignore that part. It doesn't really apply to them. There's been times I've hidden little nuggets in here like, hey, if you read this, come find me and I'll give you a candy bar or whatever it is. So I know that they're going through this kind of stuff. But talk to our running backs. And so we'll talk to each position group kind of on what we're wanting to do. And then on the offensive line, I took out the names because I don't want people to read it, but I'll actually talk specifically to that kid in the offensive line of what we expect from them, what they've got to do, all that kind of stuff. Then we'll go to defense. So if you play just offensive line, you're pretty much done reading at that point. Defense, it'll talk about overall goals. We didn't play well the week before this one. Then it talks about who we're getting ready to play and what they're going to do. Same thing with the defensive line. Put in a little bit for them, just a little bit. Now they're getting a lot more from their position coach. We try to keep it as short as we can. Then inside linebackers, outside linebackers, defensive backs. Okay, and we'll just talk in general about what they're doing. Okay. Then I'll go through, here's what we think they're going to give us to our main sets. So when we run, this is the main sets that we're going to run. So for us, red and blue is our major set that year. And then we would have over, and we'd have tight end with trips, okay? And we'll talk about them. Who are they? Here's their breakdown. So here's what these guys are, and we'll go through each guy, just a real quick general idea. We will highlight this up a lot, so our defensive linemen need to be aware of who their offensive lineman is, and so that's going to go against them. A lot of times, just kind of a quick note on this, we'll actually have certain scout team guys who are going to represent these guys, so they'll need to read through this and be coached up on what they're going to do to be good at representing them. Okay. Then do special teams. We talk about, hey, we're going to do this. We have any adjustments? We'll put them in here and we'll draw them in here. That week we were going to run a hands team because their kicking game was not great. So we wanted to be great at it. Okay. Then we talk about like how they're going to line up against us. Sorry, the first part was how they're going to line up. Second one is here's what we're going to do and here's how they're going to line up. Obviously, this is blank, so you would fill this in with whatever your major sets are. If you're better than me and you don't have to draw it, you could print it up put it in a slide or whatever. Then we'll talk about their defense. Okay, here's the guy that's going to play here. Here's how he plays. Same thing here. Our scout team guys need to be reading this and paying attention so they can give us this kind of look throughout the week. Okay. Then we'll talk about our adjustments. Okay, so we're going to run arrow for us that year was jet. And so we're going to run jet. Here's exactly our adjustment we're going to make off of it. We had different plays we're going to put in there. Going to okay. I'll go through there and the main plays we're going to run. If you're off the guard, you're probably not really going to have to read all this stuff, but I want my quarterback to know all of this and my kids that can handle it to have plenty of information. Okay. New plays for this week. For us, new plays, and I put quotation marks, are usually just adjustments. So here's something we're going to put in as an adjustment or a special to go for them. We just put them in there in our packet. And so we'll draw all this kind of stuff up. So this one's playoffs. So we've been going through it a little bit. So it's a little bit longer than what they would normally get. But as we're breaking down our opponent and giving some, it's 13 pages, giving something to our kids, it just gives them kind of a general idea, you know, of what we expect from them. Okay. Good for us. Hopefully it can help you guys out.